Matt Walsh won't answer his question, but he wants him to answer Matt Walsh's question, which is about to be, what is a woman? Matt Walsh did a kind of like a live stream speaking event at the University of Iowa. I didn't watch the whole event. I don't really care to watch the whole event. I don't need to see Matt Walsh speak at the University of Iowa. But recently, while he was doing the speech at the University of Iowa, somebody came up and challenged him. Now, part of the interaction is cut out. Apparently, this guy's a Walsh viewer, by the way, for any of you Walshites out there, any of you horse lovers. And he challenged Matt Walsh on his premises, on his love of science, which he has used to go after trans people, to go after the idea that, you know, somebody can transition into being a woman or somebody can transition into being a man. And this person challenges him on that and then brings his faith into the question. And then all of a sudden, Matt Walsh clams up, can't answer the question, then bizarrely lies afterwards, saying that he did answer the question before shooing him off stage. It's a very strange interaction. Now, you can't see all of the interaction. It seems that part of it is gone. I don't know if this was because they edited it out or because of a bad internet connection. I don't know, but let's watch. It's a very strange interaction. Oh, and the reason that they do these college tours is not only because, you know, college is the place that you get challenged, but it's also pretty easy usually if you do this for a living to shoot down a bunch of angry college students who are going to be very emotional about an issue because it's very close to their heart. And so it was something that was done a lot by Ben Shapiro, internet provocateur and advocate for molesty priests, Milo Yiannopoulos, and a self-reported ex-gay, and of course Matt Walsh. And I guess the problem for Matt Walsh here is he found a student who isn't a pushover.
I'll answer this,
buddy. We got your video. That's good.
And I'll answer this, and then we'll be.
Don't we do this all the time?
What you're asking me is, do we put, as you say, the benefit, the well-being of human beings above the truth? And what I'm telling you is that is the ultimate false dichotomy. We do not have to choose between those two. In fact, there is the ultimate well-being for a human being is to live in the truth with a deep recognition of truth, and that's how you.
I mean, this isn't a new thing. I mean, we do this already with religion, for example. We've never seen anybody walk on water.
Okay, so I don't know why the audio is so bad for this guy and why half of his questions have been cut out. He was also like the only student that did well for Matt Walsh that day. For those of you who didn't hear what he said because the audio started to cut out, he says in response to Matt Walsh saying, you know, the interests of the individual are always, you know, they're aligned with the well-being of humanity, is aligned with the truth. It's aligned with the truth, aligned with what's factually based, based in facts. And this guy's now saying, really? Well, what about religion? A lot of people have been saved by God. A lot of people have been helped by religion. And you're a man of faith. So why is it that you don't hold the same standard for evidence and science when it comes to faith, even though that is something that helps a lot of people?
We've never seen anybody walk on water, but there are so many.
He says we've never seen anybody walk on water. I don't know why the audio is so bad.
So many stories of people who have been changed by, you know, by God. They've seen the light of God, and so we sort of turn a blind eye to science, right? We're gonna need science because it's for our benefit.
We're gonna let someone else ask a few questions.
Sounds like you're kind of scared of the answer.
It does sound like he's kind of scared of the answer. I don't know why the crowd is clapping. Matt Walsh does not look good here. This guy asks a question, right? Matt Walsh gives an answer, and he's like, okay, but doesn't this contradict with something you believe when it comes to your faith? Something we already do in society when it comes to religion? And Matt Walsh's response is, we're going to let somebody else ask a question. It sounds like he's dodging. That's what it looks like. Even with like his audio cutting out and half his question edited out or not out, he's still like getting some jabs in there. He's still giving a good gut punch.
Before you walk away though, hey, wait a minute. Because anyone who comes up, and if you want to argue with me about the trans stuff, it's great. You know, I'm glad we can have the conversation. But we're talking about truth. We're talking about.
Wait, so to be clear, Matt Walsh won't answer his question, but he wants him to answer Matt Walsh's question, which is about to be, what is a woman?
Biological sex. So I always have to ask the
Very interesting. Very strange.
question at the end. I mean, everyone knows what the question is going to be. But so what is a woman? Can you define the term?
I think the answer to what is a woman is a person who aligns with feminine traits that we traditionally associate with females.
This guy performed very well in an extremely aggressive crowd. Like everything Matt Walsh says, Matt Walsh could be like poo poo pee pee, and the whole crowd would be like, yes, yes, man, yes, you're speaking truth to power. They'd be flipping out. Anything he says, he could say, you know, I like the color blue, and they'd be throwing chairs at him. Very aggressive crowd, and he's doing quite well considering the circumstances.
Or that people that align with.
I mean, think about it. Like his mic's cutting out. It's already a low-level mic. It's not as loud as Matt Walsh's mic. He doesn't have control of the mic. Someone's holding his face. They could pull it away at any point. Matt Walsh apparently can just choose not to answer questions, but he has to answer Matt Walsh's questions. Half of his question was cut out, either due to bad connection or editing it out. I mean, like, Matt Walsh won't answer his question, and he's still doing pretty well.
The feminine side of the spectrum. So that's my answer. And I think that answer should, the definition of everything changes over time. And as we continue to learn more about what humans can really be, I think that can continue to grow. And I hope you understand that.
Okay.
But I just want to make clear that you
I can't
told
hear
me
you.
to leave as soon as I brought up a point that you didn't want to respond to. So
I couldn't hear what you say your last comment.
I was just saying I want to point out that you asked me to leave as soon as I brought up something you didn't want to respond to. So
What did I want to respond to?
I will freely leave. Absolutely. I mentioned religion being a source of where we deny or look past science for the greater sense of humanity. And you asked me to
I did
leave.
respond to that. Okay.
He didn't respond to
I
this.
responded to that
respond to
quite directly. So
I'm sorry I can't hear you.
all right.
He didn't respond to it. He quite literally just, when he asked the question, he said, I think we're going to let other people ask questions. Then he was like, wait a second, let me ask you a question, because apparently he wasn't done with him. He wanted to get him. And now he's like, that guy answered his question. He's like, but by the way, you didn't answer my question. Yes, I did. And now it's over.
Thank you for your question.
Next question. So, I still can't hear you.
I can't hear you. You got to speak up. All right.
Dude, how was he not prepared for that? How was he not prepared for that? He did. I mean, you would think that when people talk about, like, if he's going to, like, center science as such a critical part of him, he had to have, like, some responsible, here's why I believe in faith. It's science-based. Or, well, that is an example of that, but I think that, for example, transitioning is harmful. And therefore, and he could have some response. I'm sure he could connive some response, even if I would disagree with that response, but he had nothing. And he just was like, I don't want to answer the question. Move on. Next person. Never mind. Let me ask you a question. Then he answers that question. It's like, but you never answered mine. Yes, I did. And he just lies. He just says, I answered the question. He didn't answer the question. It seems like he was just completely caught off of his guard. He has a rowdy crowd. He doesn't want to look weak in front of the crowd. So he's now just pretending that he asked the question and that he answered the question when he didn't. Very weird performance from Matt Walsh. Very weak performance from Matt Walsh, man. Spine made of jello.